Have you ever wanted to make a road in a disaster-struck Eastern European country? Or maybe a bridge over an oil spill in Africa? Well, RoadCraft is a game you've been waiting for. In this construction simulation game, you'll be restoring regions devastated by natural disasters. This weirdly chill and satisfying game was the one I decided to get a platinum in, and here's my experience and what it took to achieve it. Before we get into it, this game has 44 trophies, 23 bronze, 16 silver and 2 gold, and 1 trophy that is one of the most time-consuming, stupid challenges I ever had to do in my 97 platinum-studded gaming career, but we'll get to that later. The game loop is, you arrive at a disaster zone, assess the damage, start ruined vehicles and rebuilding infrastructure. The vibe of the game is great. The terrain physics alongside the graphics are actually quite impressive. It's like Death Stranding on the road. The game is made up of 8 maps, each containing its main and side missions which will all need to be completed. We start off learning the basics, driving controls, winches, planning routes and cranes, which honestly I could represent my country in crane operation. I got pretty good at it. So after completing the tutorial map, I moved on through the following maps, this time with a couple of friends, which makes a huge difference and we could complete all the tasks much quicker. While messing around with some of these cranes in this area, I accidentally got the freefall trophy, which requires you to be in freefall for 50 meters, so that was a nice bit of luck. But then the difficulty and grind started to ramp up. For the trophy digging for treasure, I had to create a route to this castle up in a mountain, which was not easy at all. It was a trial and error situation. I built a few roads and a bridge and plotted many different paths until I finally got it. It took me a long time to make something that actually worked and looked quite scenic too, so I was quite proud of that one. My only advice is to not forget that you can build bridges and roads anywhere on the map, not just the designated areas. I then went for the 010 or whatever trophy, which actually is the binary code for the word nice. I did Google it. For this one I had to get up to this isolated island, and with the Lynx vehicle that has got this huge wheels, it was like no problem at all. It's definitely my favorite scout vehicle for sure. After getting some of those trophies, I then continued the story missions. The final main objective of the sunken map was a pain. I'm not gonna lie. I had to get this lorry halfway across the map, and it kept getting stuck and failing the route. But because it only had to be completed once, I brute forced it through like this forest. I made a bridge all the way across to the finish line. So I got the strongest vehicle I had and I just towed it all the way there. You might say I cheesed it, but if you had a better way, please let me know down in the comments. The following maps had a similar pattern, but definitely scaled up in terms of effort. The terrain got a lot more difficult. I started covering everything in concrete just to manage. Each map had some additional trophies, which weren't too hard. I had to find and sell these toy cars scattered across the map, which if you mark and do alongside your regular playthrough, it's not too much hassle. In addition, there were some other funky trophies. For example, in Sojourn, I had to break down faces, jump a cliff, throw something in a well, and ruin some trees. But the final map was the real test. It was called Kernal, and completing the map objectives on its own was a challenge. This map had no roads, really difficult terrain, and not many bases to teleport to, so the grind was real. The biggest help on this was getting the mobile operation base, which not only lets you recall vehicles but can store and dispatch materials remotely, so that's a massive time saver. I definitely recommend buying it. Also, I realized way too late that I could just be buying materials. I was saving money for no reason, so don't make that mistake. Everything I learned from the previous maps had to come together on Kernal. I was doing this one on my own, so I had to be as efficient as possible. So what I would often do is get a heavy transport vehicle, load it up with a crane and some materials just to save me a couple trips, because then you can just get everything across in one go. So what I would do is get the Vostok tracked compact crane, because it's the smallest one available and just easy drive it up on that transport vehicle. I was looking for anything to make this map easier, because completing these objectives was really painful. To add to the difficulty, the trophies on this map were not forgiving. You have to destroy the last remaining trees, which are always in these super difficult places to reach. The amount of times I got stuck at these moats, it must have added like 10 hours to my game time. The same goes for the toy cars collection. The devs made it a real pain in the ass to collect these. But eventually I had completed every objective on Kernal, awarding me the trophy Ground Zero. And you'd think after 150 hours and completing every objective, I would be close to the platinum. But that was not the case. The final trophy requires you to travel a total of 5,000 kilometers. And by the end of the game, I had only done 800. Not even 20% there. It's honestly insane. There was no easy way about it. The only thing I could do was the good old rubber band technique and winching myself to another truck. I left my game running like this for hours. And by hours, I mean days and weeks. It took such a long time. I'll be sending devs an invoice for the pure electricity that is used up. At some point, my PlayStation crashed from overheating. I'm not even joking. But eventually, the trophy did pop, and I got the platinum. So, apart from that, the game's fantastic. The trophies are not that difficult. But man, the grind for the last one is real. But definitely recommend it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you.